All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this box, I have something exciting that is going to be a huge asset to this channel and something that is going to help me really be able to expand the different types of fishing adventures that we're able to go on and to film some awesome, new, and exciting fishing content for you guys. Recently, I've decided to partner with several companies that directly tie into the goal that I'm trying to achieve here on this channel. So there's going to be some awesome new content coming your guys' way here real soon, and arguably one of the most exciting companies that I've decided to partner with is Huffy Bicycles, which I'm sure most of you guys have actually probably heard of. So here in this box, I have Huffy's Centuric fat tire folding e-bike. The reason that this is gonna be awesome for this channel is because it's going to allow me to ride this out on the beach. When you're on foot, there is obviously a limited amount of ground that you're gonna be able to cover. So having an e-bike like this with the fat tires that you're able to run on the sand, we can run this thing for miles and miles and miles, chasing schools of fish all summer long and cover more ground than I have ever been able to. So the goal of this video is we're gonna get this thing opened up, we're gonna assemble it, check out all the features of it, and I'm gonna take it for its first run around the block and give you guys my first initial thoughts on this e-bike. Now, I am super excited for this. I don't partner with too many companies. I really try to keep it pretty tame and in terms of the advertisement thing for the sake of you guys. But this is one that really is going to open up a lot of doors for us to be able to film some really cool stuff here. All right, so here's how it looks all packaged up from the factory. Looks like they got it wrapped up pretty good. Frame and other various components and fenders and all that stuff are wrapped in several layers of thick foam to keep them from getting scratched up and damaged. It looks like they got this whole thing pretty much just tied together, so the whole thing just lifts out in one shot. So this is what it's going to look like when you first get it out of the box. So pretty much the bulk of the entire body here is all assembled, including the forks, the seat, and the rear tire and wheel and all that. Handlebars are attached by your brake cables and your controls and everything. It looks like the battery and everything is already all integrated into the tube there, which is cool. So really the only assembly that we have to do is we've got the front fender and the front wheel. We've got a headlight here, it looks like, that I'm assuming is going to plug into one of these wiring harnesses somewhere. And then obviously we have the folding feature of the stem there that'll fold up, and we'll mount the handlebars to that. But yeah, very basic setup here. It looks like it comes pretty much almost pre-assembled for you. There is this bag looking thing down here zip tied to the handlebars, and I'm kind of guessing that this is going to be instructions and other various things having to do with the bike. So that's what that bag looks like. What is in the bag? Let's find out. Got another box of something here. So that's your charger. Here's what we're looking for right here. And of course, we're also going to have our keys to turn it on and off and lock it, I believe. So first step here is we're going to take the stem and fold this up. It specifically says that some force will be needed. I love when companies include things like that because I'm a very forceful person and I tend to break things by being too forceful. Then we're going to push this tab into place until it locks. Now the next thing that we're going to do is right up here on top of the stem, we've got this little lever that opens up and expands the stem so we can put our handlebars into place. And there's this little channel right here down the back side that coincides with a little tab there to make sure you're lining them up properly. And it looks like you have a pretty good level of height adjustment here, at least maybe like 8 inches, I would say, of height adjustment. And then we just lock that tab back into place. Those are nice and tight. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is install our fender. We've got this little tab that's gonna be on the front side that coincides with this bolt right here. And then we've got this bracket thing that will fold down and attach down here at the bottom, it looks like. So this bolt comes inserted in the fork, so we'll take that out. That bolt does come with a washer and a little lock nut there so it doesn't come out. And something else I'm noticing that I love when companies do this, that bolt not only has a hex head, but it also has a Phillips screwdriver so you can use multiple tools. See, it's little things like that that I tend to take notice to because it makes life so much easier. Okay, now we're going to take our light and that's going to go on there. This is kind of difficult to do with only 2 hands. Let's see if I can do it. And get our bolt through there. I'm going to guess that that nut is a 7/16. Nope. Of course not. You know what, this is Huffy, so it's probably metric actually. Is it a 10? It is. And this does have a level of adjustment to where you can slide it up and down. I don't know exactly where it's going to need to be. So for the time being, I'm going to just slide it all the way up to the top. Okay, so next step here is we're going to install the front wheel. Okay, got those nuts all loosened up to the end of the axle so we can insert the axle into the dropouts here. Brake is on the left side, so we're going to match the disc brake up to that. You know, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I actually used to be very big into bicycles, and I grew up riding BMX bikes. That was my jam until my early 20s. And clearly it has been a long time, because I just remembered that when I used to do front tires that you flip the bike upside down resting on the seat and the handlebars, and life is so much easier. But we got it, we're good. And what do we think this is? Not that one. 14. Is it going to be a 15, the one that I don't have? Indeed. Front nuts, size 15 wrench. Okay, and on these dropouts, if you look right here just under the bottom of the fork, there's a little hole right there. And one of these little washers here has a tab that goes into that hole, and then you can tighten this down. Now, I do need to adjust the fender because it is rubbing. I didn't tighten it down all the way because I knew we were going to have to adjust it. But what I'm going to do first is I am going to come in here, and I'm going to secure this little part of the fender down real quick so it quits rattling in your guy's ear. And that is just this little silver bolt here on the back side of the dropout. The same thing is going to go on the back fender here. We've got a couple more of these little support brackets. And really all these do is just kind of help square up that fender so it's not rubbing on the tire. Keeps it in position, and it also keeps it from bouncing around too, so it's nice and solid there. The last thing that we really have to do here is just open the pedals up, and these pedals fold, so you can fold this thing down real small and transport it in the trunk of your car or whatever. So all you have to do is just flip them up into position until you hear them lock into place. And now the one thing that I have been sitting here for about 5 minutes trying to figure out that's not in the instructions is where in the hell these connectors plug into. So if you open this up, behold the connectors that we have been searching for. Connectors have a little notch to make sure you can't plug them in incorrectly. And once those are plugged in, then we can take our wrap here and we'll wrap that back up so it holds that wiring bundle together for us. The other one I've been trying to figure out is where the light plugs in, and I assume that it's going to be the same answer here. So there it is right there. Now, I am not positive about this, but before we fire this thing up, I do want to check. It looks like this battery actually comes out of the frame, which to me is kind of important and like a looking forward kind of thing. Like, what if you ever had like a battery on something go bad? Like, I know some of these e-bikes have the battery integrated into the frame, and if it goes bad, like, it doesn't come out. So I know I do have another e-bike. Yeah, it does, yes. I was gonna say on my other e-bike you have to turn the key and unlock it, and that's what releases the battery. That is sweet. So the battery does completely detach from the frame of the e-bike, and that is not a heavy battery. That is a very light battery actually. So there's your battery stats right there. Lithium ion battery, 36 volt, 7.8 amp hours. So that's actually a pretty big battery for an e-bike. Okay, so you turn the key all the way forward. That allows you to lock it in place. And then you turn the key back, and that locks that battery down. These are a 20 by 4 inch wide tire, perfect for riding on sand or mud. Good all-terrain bike for running down trails and all kind of stuff. Like, this is really going to open up so many doors for us here. I'm super excited about this. 20 psi is the max. Now, one more thing I do want to show you guys too while we are talking about these wheels. So being a former BMX guy that pretty much grew up working on bicycles, this is something that I always check for, because I always check these spokes to make sure they're tightened up, but not only tightened up, make sure that they're trued, meaning that when you spin the tire, it spins perfectly straight. It doesn't have any wobble to it, side to side or up and down. And these are perfectly trued from the factory, like perfectly trued. A lot of times when you get these factory wheels, either they're not trued, or even if they are trued, they leave them too loose, and over time as you're riding it untrues itself and you start getting a wobble. So that is really cool to see. that they actually took the time to get these trued up properly. All right, guys, and there is the assembled Huffy Centuric folding fat tire e-bike. Now, obviously, I'm extremely excited to get this thing fired up, check out the electronics and the gearing, and take it out on its first test drive. Before we do that, though, I do want to try out one of the main features of this e-bike, and honestly, one of the most important features that most people purchasing this are purchasing it for, and that is its folding feature, which allows you to pack this thing up super small, fit it in the back of a sedan or a station wagon, take it with you on road trips or camping without the need for a bike rack or a roof rack or any of that stuff. Looking at the instruction manual, it appears that folding this thing up is actually really simple, so let's try it out real fast. All right, so first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna fold the pedals down. So these have a tab right inside here that you just pull out towards the outside of the pedal, and then you can fold those down out of the way. Then we're supposed to position the cranks in this particular position here, with the left crank arm pointing towards the back, just slightly up from the bottom chainstay there. Then the next thing we're gonna do is there's this little tab on the handle here on the frame. We push that forward, and then we can pull that lock open just like that. And then with that lock open, we should be able to just fold the frame in half, just like this. And then there is a support on the front of the frame just under the bottom bracket in the pedals that allows you to rest it just like that. And finally, we're gonna pull up with our thumb on this little tab here. We're gonna unlock the handlebars, and those are just gonna fold open just like that. And all of these cables and everything just go down both sides of the stem there, and that whole thing just folds sideways right up into the frame just like that. And that is pretty much it, guys. So you can see just how small that folds up. I mean, that would easily fit in the trunk of a car on its side. You could put it in the back of a hatchback or a station wagon. I could very easily load this right into the back of the truck all by myself, no assistance needed. If we're going out on like a camping trip, let's say, put it all the way over to the side like that, and I still have room for totes stacked up over here with all my camping gear, like firewood or whatever it is. I mean, this thing packs up pretty small, so that's really cool to see. All right, so we've got to where we're going, and we're gonna open this thing back up and go for a ride. Let's see how easy that is. So just flip the handlebars up, lock this into position just like that, and then all we have to do here is we're just gonna get between the two parts of the frame. This swings open, and then we just close this, and that locks it into place. Flip our pedals open. That's it. We are ready to ride. So super simple. All right, guys, now we get to the fun part. We're gonna power this up for the first time, and we are gonna go on a test drive. So we should be able to just hold the power button down there. We do have a battery indicator, which shows us how much battery we have left. We've got a speedometer. This shows us how many miles the bike's been ridden. And right here is where we have our e-assist. So we can turn that up through various levels of full assist, meaning the bike is basically going to do all the work for you while you're pedaling. And we can turn this down as well to where you're doing all the work and the bike is not assisting you whatsoever. Over here on this side, we do have a gear selector, which shifts gears on the rear wheel, meaning that we can really customize how we're riding this bike between the use of the gear selector and the e-assist. So like if we're going up a big hill or something like that, we can turn the e-assist up and select a lower gear, which is going to help us pedal up that hill. So really customizable, really usable for a wide range of different riding situations. Not only that, though, we do also have a thumb throttle over here on the right side, so we can actually just control this like an electric motorbike pretty much, and just drive it using the thumb throttle and not have to pedal at all if that's what we want to do. All right, guys, so switched over to the GoPro here. We're gonna hop on this thing and we're gonna take it out for a little spin around the block just to get a test ride in for this video. And then of course, in upcoming videos, we are gonna be taking this thing out to the beach, scouting out some fishing spots and doing all kind of fun stuff with it. But let's at least get its test ride out of the way and try this thing out for the first time. Let's go up just a little bit on the seat here. So you've got just this little lever that opens up. You can raise the seat to wherever you want and then just close that back down. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That seat is actually quite comfortable. That's really not bad. I have issues with bicycle seats and my butt starts hurting after a while, so we'll have to see how this one is. But that one actually has some cushion, which is pretty good from the factory. Something else too that I forgot to mention, this does have the rack on the back right here. So those of you guys that are thinking of a fishing application for this, of course, we can put a milk crate back here with fishing rod holders and all kind of tackle storage and all kind of crazy stuff. This thing is going to be awesome once we get it all outfitted for fishing. And before we get going here, here's a fun little tidbit for you guys. If you didn't know, Shimano actually is in the business of making bicycle parts. That is kind of cool, since this is a fishing channel, that there is Shimano parts on this bike. I do like too that this is a step through frame, so you don't have to throw your leg up over the frame, which is nice when you're short like me. So I'm gonna start, let's just start with E-Assist 1 just to make sure everything's working. All right. Ooh, yep, that's quick. Engine just kicked in. So I'm just riding around my grass here with literally no issues whatsoever. This thing hauls ass. I'm kind of scared to turn it up. See if I can ride down the curb one-handed. That's not bad at all. Let's try shifting. Where's that? 1, 3, 4. Oh, that was a 1, not a 7. Okay, so it goes up to 6, not 7. So it's 1 through 6 on the gearing. This bike is rated to go up to 20 miles an hour on the E-Assist. I think that's a legality thing, so obviously you can go faster on the bike than 20 miles an hour if you're pedaling with the full E-Assist going and everything, going down a hill. You can get cruising along, but with the E-Assist, it's rated to go up to 20 miles an hour, and then I think it governs itself. Comfortable to ride no-handed too. Those fat tires keep it nice and stable. It's a light bike too. It's not heavy, so it's real easy to control like that, which is nice if you're messing with camera gear and that kind of thing. Oh my God, it's so fast. All right, what do we got here? Got some grass and some mulch. The mulch is probably soft. That'd be a pain in the ass to ride through on a normal bike. Let's give it a try. Still on E-Assist 2. Holy crap. Dude, this thing hauls. Good Lord. Good Lord. Okay, we need to turn this thing back down. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Let's turn it back down to E-Assist 1. It does take just a sec for that motor to kick in when you start pedaling, but it's not too bad. It's maybe like a 2-second delay, I would say. But on all this loose mulch here, these fat tires and the E-Assist, we're doing just totally fine. And keep in mind too, guys, I am doing all this one-handed, and it is making it super easy to control this bike, having that level of E-Assist. It is a comfortable ride though, man, even for only having the 20-inch tires, which is a normal like BMX bike tire size. Normally like a mountain bike or a road bike or something is going to be a little bit bigger, like 26, 28. Even having the 20-inch tires on this thing, it is quite a comfortable ride. There's no shocks or anything on this bike, but having those fat tires to absorb a little bit of that is really not bad. All right, so I'm gonna try the next thing that I wanna try here, which is gonna be the thumb throttle. I'm kind of scared to do this, but let's give it a try going up this hill here. So not pedaling at all, thumb throttle's down. Oh, she's going. Oh yeah, that's nice. And we're freaking cruising 16 miles an hour, 17, 18. Oh, god dang. I'll tell you what though, when you push that throttle down, you better be holding on tight, because that thing has a little bit of kick to it. 19, 20. 23. Yeah, so I felt it power down a little bit. We are on flat ground right here. We've got a hill coming up, so I'm just going to keep the throttle pinned. It's sitting right at 20.1, so it did govern itself. Let's see what it does going down the hill though. There's 21 right there, still climbing going up the hill. I'm going to get on the brakes here because I'm rolling one-handed with the camera, but it does go over 20 miles an hour. If you have that throttle pinned down, you just have to be going down a hill or pedaling to help it out. But with the throttle pinned down on flat ground, you're gonna get about 20 miles an hour out of it. We'll just go up here so we have a little bit more of an incline. So what I'm gonna do is, you know what, let's go all the way. 5, E-Assist level 5. God dang. Yeah, this thing moves pretty good, man. That's on E-Assist level 5, 6th gear, so highest gear that it'll go. We are going up a little incline right now with the wind resistance coming head on, and we are cruising. God, we're still on 5. Holy crap, this thing is fun, man. I'm looking forward to running this down the beach, chasing after some Jack Crevalle or some Spanish. And just give you guys one last walk around of this bike here in the beautiful evening sunshine before we wrap this video up. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. This thing is awesome, and stay tuned because there will be some adventure content tracking down some fish using this bike coming at you very soon. But I did just want to do the unboxing and the assembly video just so you guys could kind of get a feel for the bike, see it for the first time, and know what to expect going forward here on the channel. Obviously, we're still going to be doing all the kayak fishing stuff. That's really what I've built this channel around. But I am starting to get into more land-based fishing stuff as well, just kind of branch out and trying to do some like new exciting stuff to keep you guys entertained. So this is something that's really going to help us do that. Thank you guys so much. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so. That way you don't miss out on future content. Again, big shout out to Huffy for sending this e-bike over to me. I'm really looking forward to taking it out on some adventures, filming some great content with it, and working with you guys. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.